But if a hallucinogenic substance is hallucinogenic because it produces hallucinations, if a hallucinogenic substance can replicate an NDE, that does not imply that NDEs are hallucinations.
No, they are totally different. What the hallucinogenic substance does in sensitive people with the ability to have a near-death experience is that it inhibits the ego, and then their supraconsciousness emerges. Their supraconsciousness is manifested. It's completely different. It's not a hallucination. There are people who don't have this sensitivity, who take hallucinogenic substances, and then they do have hallucinations. Drug addicts, for example, whom we sadly see a lot, have their own separate world. When they fall into deep anguish, a lack of meaning in life, in this profound nihilism that develops in our current society due to the reign of egomania, people then, to escape, take drugs and such things. These people then have hallucinations. They have a pleasurable world, something completely different.
And listening to talk about clinical death reminded me of something that was like a great fear that many human beings share, which fortunately is rarely heard of now, but it is catalepsy. I mean, little is heard about this topic now because at one point it was said that one could be cataleptic and that could lead to you having no vital signs and to therefore being buried, which is the greatest fear of humans. Logically, there are documented cases, yes, and there have been cases, this is going to unsettle people, scratches on coffins and things like that, of someone who apparently had suffered a cataleptic episode, and they had, and even with a happier ending, a video of a burial went viral at the time, I don't know if it was in Brazil, in which the dead person sat up because they weren't actually dead, but rather someone who apparently was experiencing an episode of this medical condition or circumstance. I don't know.
I'm not an expert in this. I'm not a psychiatrist. The truth is I have no experience in this. But we, for example, in transplants, when we perform transplants, the Belvish transplant team, we cannot remove an organ from a donor and transplant it to another person if we don't have a 24-hour interval with a flat electroencephalogram and flat at 24 hours. A cataleptic person does not have a flat electroencephalogram. They have brain activity. So at the slightest brain activity you see on the electroencephalogram, you cannot say they are dead.